What up, everybody? What up, Mutant? Yes, you give me a plug, I'll be sure to give you one. I do appreciate anyone who gives plugs and anyone who's getting plugged. So, there you go. Also, Spinnernet, much luck to you in your job search, man. I know how it can be. Been a little while for me, I'm pretty stable, luckily. Knocking on wood, but man, good luck to you. I wish you the best. But back to Mutant, I was actually talking to him last night, and I mentioned that I was going to be less PC this go around. Let's just say I'm like Danny Glover and too old for this shit, so I figure, you know what, I'm just not going to be as PC. I'm going to say what I really feel and not worry so much. So there you go. But I have questions, about 20 of them, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's going to be lengthy. But I want to answer as many questions as I got. Like I said, about 20. 8 from Chris at UCW. He sent me a text. So let me start with those. What's my view on Bryan Danielson's release from WWE? Now, this is the question I think a lot of people are kind of probably curious to know what my opinion is. I think it sucks. Honestly, I think it sucks. If it in fact is a legit deal, you never know with WWE. I mean, Matt Hardy got fired and much later on came back. He worked some indie shows. Not saying he was entirely let go. I don't know, And Danielson strikes me as one of those guys who could be in the same predicament. But I think it sucks. I think that you have a sponsor basically dictating what they want to see on programming, which is what I've heard as far as Mattel not liking what was done to Justin Roberts. But again, I think it just sucks that a guy going out there, trying to go the extra mile, trying to make an impact, trying to get people to see him and really truly have him stand apart, doing his job, and he basically gets let go. I mean, what the hell? I think it kind of will hurt the invasion overall. I mean, I've lost interest. I think Danielson being a part of it was definitely something that caught my interest. So, but who drove the limo? There's that, and if they pretty much put him out to pasture the way they did with Wade Barrett saying he had remorse, I don't know. Maybe he'll come back. I mean, that's where the money is. I mean, go to Japan or whatever. But I wish him the best of luck. Danielson's obviously a real talent, and I think he'd fully arrive going to WWE. So we'll see. Do I feel ROH will become a legit option to WWE or TNA? Maybe in time. As far as legit to who? To viewers, I think it's already a legit option. To other wrestlers, money talks, man. It's good to be free, and don't get me wrong, I would love to be part of ROH's roster, and I think they're doing really good stuff with their pay-per-views, their IPPV and whatnot, but as far as option, I think they're the underground option. They're the place where people want to see, wrestlers be supposedly free. And more power to them. But it's at some point, if they keep going the way they're going. In order to do so, what would they need to do? Keep doing what they're doing. I think securing a legitimate television deal would work, aside from HDNet. I'd say FX or, Spike probably couldn't carry another wrestling company, but FX or someone along those lines would be beneficial to these guys. Even versus, somewhere where more people could see it. It definitely would be on my DVR. And maybe pick up, some guys who still have some legs, guys like Benjamin, Carlito, guys along those, definitely a Danielson. But, I mean, they're doing well with what they have. They have that underground movement. I think the internet's a powerful tool. and they utilize it, and it definitely could make them become what ECW was to my generation, I guess, of wrestling viewers. So there you go. Who do I see as front runner in season 2 of NXT? I don't see anybody really standing out. That's just my opinion. Caval, kind of handcuffed to a degree, but it is what it is. NXT is what it is. Like it or hate it. It is probably a how bad do you want to be on this show, which I'll cover later. But no one really stands out. Percy Watson did first episode. Caval does stand out. Riley stands out. I'm trying to think anybody else really. Percy, I said Percy. But no one really just head and shoulders. And McGillicuddy, obviously doing some stuff, doing it right, I think. But it's too soon to tell as far as I'm concerned. There's about 4 or 5 guys there. How do I feel Tommy Dreamer can really help the TNA product? By maybe behind the scenes as far as helping them generate good stories for guys, maybe putting a seal of approval on somebody. But other than that, in a wrestling capacity, I think he's better behind the scenes. He's a good judge of talent. And if they let him do that, and he's able to help secure guys, and also give guys a true purpose for being on the show, and not just being, kind of part of the crowd, but a way to stand out. I think if he helps guys along those lines, that's how he can help the product. Should TNA lure some ROH talent such as the American Wolves, Briscoes, or others? I don't know. I think those guys could benefit from staying where they're at. So no, I think TNA's got a really good roster. They just kind of need direction. I mean, some of that talent needs direction. They need to really focus on highlighting certain talent a little bit better. But bringing in more talent, that's not going to help them, I don't think, overall. Do I think TNA would be better suited if they had 2 1-hour shows rather than 2 continuous hours of programming? No, I don't think that would benefit them at all. I think 2 hours is more than enough time, and I think they just need to utilize that time a lot better, highlighting the talent better. Notice a theme here, TNA. Do you, Dixie? I'm available to help write your show. That's all I'm going to say. I could also be really, really good talent on your show. But most importantly, I'm a creative mind. And you should hire me. Finally, would WWE be better off just funding FCW on TV instead of going the NXT route? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. NXT is a different commodity altogether. You don't want to bring in FCW with their storylines. It would confuse fans to some degree. And I think FCW needs to continue to serve its purpose, which is to develop talent. I think NXT is kind of the graduating class in many forms. You do so well in FCW, you get to be on NXT. So I like the NXT concept. But it is what it is. I would have more of a Ultimate Fighter appeal or Tough Enough appeal. I would do that more than what they're doing. That's just me. That more of a reality show based. That would be my version. So there you go, Chris. I have answered your questions, and we're done with the first half. So at this point, you could probably push pause if you'd like, or you can keep going. I know I'm going to enjoy a tasty beverage. That's right, I got it. I'm glad you noticed. I mean, seriously. Looks good, I think. Just today. Happy Father's Day to all fathers. So, here's the second half. I got them from a variety of people, and I'm just going to answer them as best as I can. Marty Giles from my Facebook account. Yeah, see, I'm going to even plug where I got it. Do I think ticket prices in today's economy has a lot to do with attendance of wrestling shows? And should their product be different? Would that help them attract more fans? Well, Marty, if I can call you Marty, glad to always see you at the shows, by the way. I don't know, really, because does it affect UFC or local UFC shows, like independent shows? I don't think it does. I think they do well. Does it affect movies? You know, movie prices have increased exponentially, over the last few years, especially IMAX and such. I don't think they're hurt by the economy. It is what it is. I think there are a lot of indie companies out there, and fans are a little more selective because, most of the fans that would go to local shows are probably on a budget of some sort. And, there are options. But I think, no. I think it's just wrestling to some degree has lost its luster to some fans. But I think, most fans that go to shows are entertained. It's just getting more people to come out. Just getting more of a diverse crowd to come out. Place like Doomsday comes to mind. I think it also depends on product. As far as being different, I think being more over the top would be beneficial to some wrestling companies, kind of paying homage to the 80s or early 90s gimmicks that think work. Being kid-friendly does work because then families feel like they can bring out their kids. Or just catering to just more a wide array, making it, I don't know, maybe more stage-like as far as more of a performance. But I think it also depends. You go the UFC route, kind of go a little more grittier and such. Try that route. But, fans, if they're loyal to a company, they'll go regardless, I think, I hope. But, of course, the economy has played some part. I know it has for me. Wrestling's savior. Hello, sir. Hello. Do I watch ROH? Sadly, I do not. As much as I would like to, I've said it. I don't have HDNet. If I did, they would be on my DVR, and I would catch them. I don't have a whole lot of time to get on the internet. That may change when I move in a couple of weeks. I may have more time to be on the internet, but I don't get on it as much. But when I can get a chance, I may tune in. But a lot of times, I watch enough wrestling with WWE and TNA, and fast forwarding through that stuff, who knows? I would be willing to give it a shot. I've liked what I've seen, so there you go. Ecstasy 69, 3 X's and 69. What are you trying to tell people? I'm not sure. But you had about 3 questions, so thanks for asking these. Do I think TNA should get rid of the Knockouts Tag Team division or hire more women to fill it? Well, I think TNA is struggling, so increasing your roster may not be the best thing, but, before you sign a big name who's just left WWE or a mid-carder who's just left WWE or whatever have you, you could probably hire more women or just more talent overall to fill it. So before a big name hire, former big name or whatever, Scott Hall, whoever, before you hire someone like that, maybe hire some women. But back to your question. I think the more the merrier. I think more women would be great. I think the Knockouts Tag Team division could be something if there was something to do. But again, with injuries and such and people leaving, it's kind of become stagnant to a degree. Beautiful people winning it. But having said that, No, I don't think you should get rid of it. I think get more girls. Just get a more diverse palette of women. Palette, yes. Just get more women. Do I think TNA should unify the TNA heavyweight, global, and X Division titles? No, sir. No. 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 I do not. Unification, I would not unify the heavy in that scenario. I'd keep the heavy the way it is. The heavyweight title, the world heavyweight title, whatever you want to call it. But if you're going to have a world heavyweight, you should not have a global. So I would probably unify the global and X division and make it a, I'd keep it the X division, but just unify them. The winner, could you imagine Doug Williams and Rob Terry? I could, and it might be a halfway decent match, or if Rob Terry drops it at some point, whoever, I could see those being unified. But, I wouldn't unify all three. And finally, from Ecstasy 69, would I unify the WWE Women's and Divas titles and put them on one show and then put the tag on the other? Well, let's cover the latter. I think they're already doing that with the tag. If you notice, the Hart Dynasty are on Raw, the Usos on Raw. There's not really a tag team deal aside from the combatants of the Fatal 4-Way. So yeah, I think they're more or less already doing that. As far as unifying the Divas women's divisions, no. I like separation of that. It gives us a reason to have women on both shows. And I kind of like what they're doing with both. I mean, to a degree. I like Lay Cool. Eve's okay. So there. Now, those last two were from YouTube. This one was from my MySpace. Tyler, hello. Thanks for being a fan and asking. This question. If I could pick a partner and tag team in a dream match, who would I pick? That is a tough one. I'm going to have to drink some more. Let me see. If I could pick a partner tag team and a tag team to face, I think I'm going to go by kind of like eras. You can't really, I don't have an all-time. Well, maybe yes, maybe no. Let's see. Prior to Attitude, Sting would be great as a tag team partner. When he was bleach blonde and wore the colorful and, woo, and all that. Before he became the Crow, he would be my tag team partner. Just because of the outfits, we could get matching jackets. Be kind of a cool deal. And I could wear a face paint, probably. And I would say Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, or the Braybusters, would be a team. There are other teams that, like the Hart Foundation and the British Bulldogs and the Killer Bees, Legion of Doom, or the Road Warriors, or Demolition. But, for my money, just from a pure hard-fought battle, them or the British Bulldogs in like Wembley Stadium would be pretty awesome. Yeah. Attitude Era, or right around that era, obviously Shawn Michaels circa 1997-98, right before G Generation X was being formed, around that time, when he was feuding with Undertaker. That version of Shawn Michaels with me, double super kick. God. And I would say Sabu and Rob Van Dam. Could you imagine that match? I could. I have dreamt of that match. But, definitely them. I'm trying to think if there's any other teams, but not really. They stand out above everybody else. That would probably be all time for me. And if I had to do something now, I would get Randy Orton. That's right, I would. Or CM Punk, but I more am striving towards Randy Orton. You know, we legend killers. And we would face guys like the Motor City Machine Guns or Beer Money. That's those guys. Those teams really stand out to me nowadays, just because they're teams. They're true teams. Motor City, just from an athletic standpoint, just from a storytelling standpoint, I think Beer Money's solid and Orton's solid. So, good question, Tyler. I actually gave it some thought. And another one, Ron Buddha, not on my not on YouTube, but he actually hit me up on MySpace. I put the video out on MySpace. What is the worst storyline and the worst gimmick? And I guess you're talking all time. Gobbledygooker. Worst gimmick. Where were they going with that? I think that's what makes a bad gimmick. When you have like this idea, but you really have no follow through. Much like the Shockmaster. What were you thinking? Stormtrooper mask? Was that thing secure? I mean, you know, they stand out because they weren't going anywhere with it. And then storylines. Ooh, that's a toughie. Storylines. God. The invasion, the original invasion, because of the execution, it was poorly done. You know, anything involving RoboCop's involvement or Chuck Norris's involvement, all, you know, no disrespect. You know, the stuff with Chucky, the Gobbledygooker, you know, yeah, that would be about it. What up, Buddha? Xavier Smith from my MySpace. Is there anything else in wrestling, aside from being a wrestler, that he could do to just be a part of it? Get yourself a video camera and tape the show. Video a show. If you go to an indie show and say, you know what, I will videotape for you. You know, edit it, put it together, make it creative. Other than that, ring crew. You know, we all need the ring set up. Security. Or hype man. You know, Xavier, I'd say hype man. Hype up the shows. Or get yourself a video camera. Would he need experience as far as writing a show to write a wrestling show? Well, that kind of depends. To become a booker, for me, I asked my promoter after putting in time in the ring and whatnot if I could help put shows together. That's how being a booker for me started. Other guys, you know, but I was in it. When I took over Uncut, I was basically already a top guy on Full Throttle, so, and I actually showed some interest in the Uncut product and would sit down with the guy putting the shows together at one point, and we would just talk ideas. And then when it came time he wanted to go away and take a break, and I was given the reins, he selected me. So you would need some form of experience. The best thing to do is just to go talk to a local indie and like see how you can help out. Obviously, if you became a video guy, the reason I say that may be a way to come in is you become a video guy and say you start editing stuff together, and then you start talking to the talent that way. And once you build a rapport with the talent, you start talking to the guys putting the shows together and say, man, hey, just from a visual standpoint, I have these ideas. And maybe along those lines. So there you go. Now, War Princess X, I don't mind your questions. You still owe me a video, by the way. You said you were going to send me a video, and you never did. I know you're nervous, but hey, just point the camera and shoot. Now, this is referring to pajamas. I guess for the ladies, and maybe certain guys out there, but mainly for the ladies. Am I a pajamas guy? Do I wear a shirt, pants, just the pants, or boxers? It really depends on my mood, honestly, War Princess X. It really just depends on my mood. Sometimes, I never really wear the pajamas to bed. I do wear maybe scrub bottoms, or boxer briefs. I'm a boxer brief guy. Or sometimes, when it's hot, sometimes I go all natural. And we're going to leave it at that. Just to let you paint your own picture. Then, what do I think is a great female tat? What would be a great female tat? I'm a big fan of the pelvic, belt. I like that, as opposed to the tramp stamp. But, something personal, I saw a picture of an old friend of mine. She has a sleeve tattoo. I think that's kind of sexy. It just really depends. If it's something that's really cool to you, and you like it, and you put it in a place that works, then yeah. I mean, the Lita tattoo from back in the day, that was a pretty sexy tattoo. And I'm not necessarily a big fan of arm tattoos, although I think the sleeve on my friend, hers is pretty cool. But yeah, man, just go out there and have a good time. And which ones do I like? Again, something visually stunning, something colorful for a chick is always cool. So yeah. And finally, Boo Boo. No, I didn't forget you. I really gave it some thought. Obviously, I named the video after this. When will you see me? Actually, his question was, when will you see Marco Stevens on NXT? And here comes the non-PC part of the show, probably. If you had asked me, well, here's the answer to the question, then I'll expand on it. I think that NXT is going to go about 3 seasons. Because I don't see them doing it past October. I just do not see that. Yeah, I don't see it. Now they could go to a different network, but I honestly don't see it. So, 3 seasons. Now, in order to be on NXT, I would have to build enough of a name in the indies to get signed to a WWE contract. That's what I would have to do. Then I would go to FCW, and then maybe I showcase so well, and I'm such the personality that they would put me on the 3rd season of NXT. Now, mind you, this all has to happen today. Would be the best day. See? So, since that's not going to happen, the only other option would be that I would move to Florida. I would leave what I currently have going on here, some stability that I've built up and whatnot, and I would move to Florida. I would then pay $1,200 to join the beginners over at FCW, and I would work with them a couple of times a week. And then, have to get an apartment, have to kind of find another job, have to try to become stable, and whatnot, and be a beginner, and really start over all again. Yes, my decade of experience would be thrown out the door because I would be considered a beginner. And maybe I would work my way up. Maybe. And, they would see something in me and say, you know what? Forget the guy that we're paying. We're going to give this guy who gave us money we're going to push him to WWE, although he pays for class. So, to answer your question, probably never. You're never going to see me on NXT. Truth is, I've put in about a decade, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the performing. And had you asked me 4 or 5 years ago, or when I was coming to Booker's, because I had a choice. I could have gone to OVW, I could have tried to make a start there. I wanted to be closer to Texas, and I thought Booker T's was a good situation. So I came here, and I spent my money, and I paid to be a student, and, you know, I paid my $3,500 and whatnot, and all for the hope that something would come of it. Then personal stuff, and really now I'm in a stable situation where I'm at, work-wise, especially in today's economy. You know, my bills are paid, and wrestling's fun. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy putting shows together. I enjoy doing that. I would gladly do that anywhere. You know, if TNA or WWE needed a writer or someone to pick out stories or to help develop talent or actually to give talent, you know, some ease on a microphone, because a lot of those guys need that, you know, I would do it. But again, I'm in a stable enough situation, and that's hard to come by, especially nowadays. So to pick up and leave, and again, if I were to go to FCW without invitation, by invitation for me would be a signed WWE contract to a developmental deal. That to me would be incentive to move to Florida, because I would be getting paid to train. And if I was getting paid to train, I would always be in the gym. I would take very good care of myself. My diet would be impeccable. And I would eat, breathe, sleep, all of it. But I did that. I have done that. I'll continue to do it when I'm at shows. But to move, again, without that contract in my hand, not the most enticing offer. Simply because if I were to go and pay my $1,200 to join FCW, I would be the guy paying them. And then, you know, the guys who are getting signed, who are under contract, would probably not look at me like I know what I'm doing, because, again, I would be part of the beginner class. You know, maybe I'd fit in and I'd gain their respect because I would teach them, I would help them. But I probably wouldn't go any higher than just being on FCW. At least that's been my experience when I come to a company that such as that. But again, if I were to get a contract, if through some strange miracle that TNA or ROH or WWE or CMLL or AAA or someone with some clout to put money in my pocket and put me on a TV show, I would gladly take the offer, whether it be in front of the camera or behind the camera. I mean, obviously, I still feel I've got enough years, and I think that I have enough of a unique enough look, and I think I'm pretty solid on a microphone that, you know, who shouldn't sign me? But until that day comes, you know, I'm going to enjoy being on the indies. I'm going to enjoy whatever comes. I'm having fun with it. I have fun doing these videos. So yeah, you may never see Marco Stevens or DeMarco Stevens. Although, you know, I'm like, well, David Tonga gets to keep his name, and Samoa Joe gets to keep his name, and CM Punk gets to keep his name. Why would I have to change mine? Really, why would I? I don't know. I don't think I'd want to. Because then I couldn't say the classy line, there's no show without Steve DeMarco. Well, I think that's about it. I'm going to drink a little more water. Ozarka. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I know I probably ranted a little bit and I was slightly scatterbrained, but you know, I was thinking about all this on the fly. My next video, I would have talked about the 26th, but that show got canceled. I did wrestle in Klutz. It was a last-minute decision. I held out well. I've gone to massage therapy. My muscles are doing well. I'm going to begin stretching more than I have been. May even pick up some yoga. Probably come back to the gym starting next week. I'm moving to a different apartment in about a week. So I may not do another video until the July 4th weekend, possibly. My next show is July 17th as far as I know, unless something comes up. So I think unless I have other questions to answer, and I'm always, that's the thing about me, I don't mind answering. It really, I'll give you my feedback, my opinions. Truth be told, I view it probably a different way than a lot of the shooters, a lot of the gurus, a lot of the guys on here. I have an immense passion for wrestling. I still do. I have immense love for it. I hope you can see it. But it is a business that has been a part of my life for a decade. So in a lot of respects, I have my moments. I still watch it. I like watching it. I try not to be a critic of it too badly. But, if something comes and sticks out, I'll talk about it. I may talk about it after the fact. I don't like to talk about, say, the NXT invasion until that storyline has completely gone through its arc. And when it goes through its arc, maybe I'll break it down. I don't know. That might be interesting. Talk about the storytelling aspect, the promo aspect, more so than just reviewing matches. I think A. Stone had brought it up, and he's right. I think you need to talk about every aspect of the show. I mean, that's how I look at shows, is the promos, the packages, everything. So yeah. But as far as my next video, again, unless I get questions, and feel free to ask anything. You hit me up on any means, I can usually get a hold of it. So, having said that, my next video, I'm going to talk about being the boy with the dragon tattoo. And I may even talk about my other tattoos. I don't know if I'm going to talk about all of them, but I'm going to talk about at least a couple of them. In light of what I plan to do with a couple of them. I'm coming closer to an idea that I want to add to one of them. But I'll talk about them in my next video. I may also talk about preparation for my July 17th title match, XWO, back in Huntsville. And I'm facing Slim Sexy in a anything goes match. One of my specialties, actually, Slim. Oh yeah. And I mean, after Walnut Springs, you best believe I'm gonna make an example out of you, and who knows, I may just film it. I may have someone help me film it, just so we can have it on record, and then I might put it on YouTube. Me standing over you, still XWO champion. But, the preparation doesn't start on July 17th. It starts, well, maybe even tomorrow. But again, I'll talk about that. I'll probably talk about, again, being the boy with the dragon tattoo. And I will answer your questions as honestly as I possibly can, because there are no secrets here at the Lucha Lounge. There aren't. There's no such thing as that kayfabe thing. Not here. Not here. No, because this is my personal world that you're a part of, and I appreciate you coming aboard and visiting. Again, happy Father's Day, and I wish all of you the very best. So, as always, you are staying cool and sexy and classy. Because you're right here with the boy with the dragon tattoo. But you're truly at the Lucha Lounge. Later.